whatever you call it. Useless agent is on your Facebook laptop or your PC, whatever you call it.
Alright. That part is awesome. True story, I tried to redo that and I couldn't even get the original version to go right. Tried to kind of like redo the song and make it more interesting or make it longer. You know, any kind of, I don't know, alteration to that song. It was like the universe just would not allow it to happen. And greetings. It's December 8th, which is not a good day. According to, in history. I believe we're entering the anniversary of Dimebag Darrell's death. And I think that his anniversary is today. I don't want to say anything wrong here, so let me just double check that. So let's look on the old internet here and make sure we know. So I'm just going to put in right here. Now, for some reason, yeah, that's it. December 8th, 2004 was the horrible night that we lost a guitar legend, a god, a icon, a hero, a awesome fucking human being, and just a symbol of love and hope, man. That's what that guy was. And so, to Dime, those of you that are unfamiliar with the genius of Dimebag Darrell Abbott, there once was a band that was among the top 4 thrash metal bands, and that was always going to be Anthrax, Megadeth, Metallica, Slayer. I'm sorry, the Big 5. And always number 1 to me was always Pantera. Pantera had the energy I was looking for, the attitude I was looking for, and it honestly made Metallica look like pussies, And, it's just a joke, but, I don't know, he gave us a sense of, real heavy metal and made riffs that none of us will forget. If I even hear Revolution Is My Name, I lose my shit. There are like 2 songs that I really lose my shit to. And one of them is Revolution Is My Name by Pantera, fucking Hostile by Pantera, This Love by Pantera. But that and Turn the Page, the Metallica version. So whenever you talked about heavy metal, from a heavy metal aspect, like not the hair metal garbage music, I'm talking about real metal. And Dimebag Darrell had started off being a Van Halen fan, and he was actually buried with Van Halen's most famous guitar and one of his favorite guitars. So Dimebag not only got, because Dime was also a huge fan of Kiss, so they even had a Dimebag Darrell coffin. Like, it was especially made for him. He used to have it like in his house. I think even Lemmy had something like that. So, 2004 was a really bad day, and it's sad that I'm sure not many people are going to be bringing it up on your social media. I doubt a lot of people are going to be saying R.I.P. Dimebag Darrell. So let me make sure I say that first and foremost, because today, in 2004, I remember I was on the verge of tears when I saw it in the newspaper. I was a simple little metalhead doing what I do, chilling in my room, smoking pot or whatever. And then I get a knock at the door, and my dad comes up, and he just hands me the newspaper, and he just asks me, "Hey, didn't you like this guy?" And right in the front page, it just says, Dimebag Darrell shot. I used to have the article. I think I still have the original article in like my baby book. Baby books are like, when your mom gives you a baby book, all your old pictures and stuff. I think I left mine in there because it was the original, newspaper clipping. It's like, dirt brown now because of all the smoke and all the cigarette smoke and all the dust and shit. It's probably illegible now. It's probably completely unrecognizable, but it was just another simple matter of I was there, you know. So yeah, that's a nice way to start it off, is to say, Dime, we love you, and we still think about you to this day. We're coming up on 20 years. In 2024, it'll be 20 years that Dimebag's been gone. And that's crazy. So, 18. Wow. So, if you were born on that day, that means you can. Oh, yeah. I was going to say you can go buy a pack of cigarettes, but they changed that law. Now, you have to be 21 for cigarettes? That's fucking crazy. 18 used to be the year that every kid looked forward to. How you doing, hon? Nice to see you. So, yeah, if you remember being 18, or at least when you were getting up to that age back in the early 2000s, or any time before now, if you had told us then that we had to be 21 to smoke a cigarette, we would have fucking laughed in your face. We would not have taken that seriously. But, hey, Laney. Yo. So, let's go ahead and start with the actual topic of today. I went ahead and put the topic as Hollywood sucks. And I simply had put that because of the the ideology of Hollywood is now finally backfiring on them. And, I'm happy that it is. I think Richie Gervais probably said it best when he was hosting an award show, and he told the celebrities, do not use your award as a platform to lecture or preach to people, because you know what? You don't know shit about real life. You don't know shit about real problems. If ISIS had a streaming network, you guys would all call your agents. And it was hilarious because be frozen on. So, anyway. Jesus, how long is it going to be frozen like this? Normally it's about 5 seconds. So, oh, there we go again. Wow, I lost a viewer because of that. So, anyway, the ideology of Hollywood is really getting thrown back in their face because, like Richie Gervais said, these celebrities have always looked at an award show to be something to, I don't know, why did they always think that was the best time to go ahead and preach about animals and don't eat meat and have some stupid message for me that never resonates? I think the only person that ever said anything that was worth listening to was probably like Eddie Vedder when Pearl Jam won for their first Grammy. And he held it and just said, this means absolutely nothing. I don't even know what this is. That, again, is honesty. I love honesty. And, Hollywood is the furthest from being honest. You have you have Hollywood that has always been there to entertain us, not to not to guide us, not to teach us right from wrong. That's what life, parenting, childhood, all that shit is for. Um, and it's especially sad now that we equivalate politicians to celebrityism, and it sucks because I don't want a celebrity as a goddamn president. I want a politician to do politics. I want presidents to be politicians, not some guy that caught a football, not some guy that fucking had a reality television show. No, I just want someone that's in politics and in civil service and knows how to work the system. Herschel Walker literally said in one of his campaigns, he literally said, Obama's out there making fun of me because he says I gotta know some stuff. Yeah, you gotta know some shit. Yeah, to be a senator, you should know some shit. So, anyway, I watched a movie 2 days ago that it was the first time in a very long time I said I actually want to buy this movie. And it's crazy because I have not said that in forever. And when was the last time you caught yourself actually seeing a movie that you said, I gotta have this when you went home? Very rarely, especially today. Today's movies seem like a 90-minute little break from reality, and I just don't see great films anymore, or even just great comedies. Comedies started becoming, for a while, especially in the early 2000s, comedies were just all spoofs. And spoofs used to be good back when you had The Naked Gun. You had guys like Leslie Nielsen, and you had movies like Airplane and Hot Shots, and then they made that movie Mafia, and it just fell right off. And I think that's kind of where spoofs started to die. And so Mafia was I thought I liked it as a kid, but I watched it again and it sucked. So you had all these different kind of spoofs. You had, when Scary Movie came out, suddenly everyone had to do that. And remember, the Wayans brothers had gotten away with this before when they did Don't Be a Menace. But Don't Be a Menace, I mean, that was making fun of so many movies in the John Singleton films that were kind of a little too preachy. And, the fact that they have Keenan Ivory Wayans as the postman, and he goes, message, every time. They're being so transparent. And that was the joke of it, it was kind of like saying, don't take your social cues from Hollywood. You're supposed to gain your personality through life and through trial and tribulation and failure and succession and repetition. That is where you gain your insight. You don't gain it from film. Even if you're a movie buff, you don't get your understandings through film. It's just not how it works. And so when you have a generation that was raised on television and movies, that was my generation. Everything had a movie quote. Everything could be summarized in a scene. Like there was a scene for every moment of your life. There was a movie quote for every moment of your life. So Hollywood decided, well, if we're gonna be, accidentally and inadvertently raising children, well, now we know what our responsibility is here. And no, you don't. You obviously don't. Because look at the LGBTQ film Strange World. Just flops like shit. You have Wakanda Forever, and you have the actress literally telling us that if we don't watch the movie, then we're racist and we're sexist. I thought I was just broke. And seriously, I thought your movie just wasn't worth watching. I'm sorry. It didn't hit me like Black Panther, where it's a part of a cohesive storyline that is bigger than itself. Wakanda Forever was more like, hey, this is a social trope, and we were gonna throw and hand out life lessons for every one of you fucking dirty, sinner, racist, sexist bastards. And you gotta stop using the fucking crowd as your enemy. And that's where I think Hollywood's ideology is finally blowing back on them, because we're sick of being, spoon-fed. And it's like, dude, don't fucking tell me who I am and not who I'm not just because I didn't watch something or did watch something. That's fucking ridiculous. I didn't watch Black Panther because, you know what? There's not really that many theaters around me anymore. Theaters, I mean, shit. In Chicago, we've lost more theaters than we've had. I mean, in the last 20 years, we have lost more theaters than any other thing. I mean, we lose a theater, we gain a Starbucks. We lose another theater, we gain a new Starbucks. It's crazy. And so, yeah, sorry, I forgot the name of the actress that said this, but I'll bitch at her next time. But you know who you are, and don't call me a fucking sexist because I didn't watch your goddamn movie. All right. So the reason why I mentioned Bullet Train was because it was the first time I've had fun watching a movie. I was not only entertained, but it was like a roller coaster. It was fun. It was entertaining. It was suspenseful. And if you're not familiar with it, it's just a ensemble cast kind of movie where it focuses on the connecting of, all these different stories simultaneously and continuously working together. So it's just like, the old Guy Ritchie movies. It reminded me a lot of like Snatch, where, here's a character and then the camera will like pause and focus on that character, have his name put out, and then show a badass scene of why that character's so cool. And honestly, that type of exposition and storytelling is such a lost art right now, because when you have people that have attention spans like moths, then you really should be watching a movie like this, because every character that is important gets a full-on exposition and a summary, and one character is only in it to die, and he's gone through all this cool shit I wish they showed. He had killed like a whole cartel of dudes, all just to get, killed in this train over a misunderstanding. And it's just, and everything of course will add up in the end, but it's just so much fun to watch. It was like 4 Rooms mixed with Snatch. But it has this it has multiple cultural references, in filmmaking, which was even more fun. There was a Japanese style to the film. There was a British style to the film. There was an American style to the film. It was a lot of fucking fun. And it should not take, 10 years to make a movie that's fun, Avatar 2 is going to be coming out. And I can almost fucking guarantee that if you watch Bullet Train and then watch Avatar 2, two in very different styles of movie, 2 very different budgets, but 2 very different experiences, and we used to look at movies to be entertained, and the budget used to tell us if it was going to be any good. Now you kind of go with the opposite. Todd Phillips was actually given a small budget for Joker because I think they didn't want him to direct it because he was so known for comedies like Road Trip and Due Date, I remember I saw that in theaters with my friend Amanda, and I fucking loved that movie. I thought it was hilarious. But he wanted to take on the Joker, and with DC and Marvel films, you know, you're always going to have tons of Easter eggs and little surprises and extras, and Todd Phillips wanted none of that. You know, he doesn't like Easter eggs. He doesn't like that shit. Normally, he doesn't even like doing sequels. So I don't know how this new one's gonna go. I'm not really looking forward to it, honestly. We know that Joker's world and Robert Pattinson's Batman will never cross paths. Todd Phillips was very adamant about that. And if you watch Joker, there's a scene right at the beginning where if you pause it, you can almost see an outline of Batman in the settings. Turns out none of that was intentional, and again, Todd Phillips doesn't like doing Easter eggs, so that was not at all an Easter egg or even intentionally filmed that way. It was just a case of there's a word for it when you see faces and things. And every time I get this microphone, the words slip away. I swear to God. And so, if anybody can remember the word, please spell it out for me, because I completely forgot the name of the word. But anyway, humans have a way of looking at things and seeing faces and shit like that, and it's just our brains trying to make sense of what we're seeing, so we try to familiarize it by comparing it to something else. And so we will see something that inherently isn't really there. Kind of like, kind of like a 3D picture of a square, you know? If you look at that square, you're going to see 5 different shapes, you know? Like, well, not different shapes, but you're going to see, that picture, and it's not going to remain the same picture. Our brains naturally overanalyze everything, and overanalyzation is actually a sign of a healthy brain. So don't ever worry about if you're overanalyzing too much, or you think too much. That's actually a good thing. Got more subscribers today, so let's go. All right, thank you, Tenapet. Laney, why don't you ever jump into our subscription so that way I can get you on my little mini feed here? I wonder if this is red, so I'm gonna put her up. Bam! I believe that's my girl Red. So, as I was saying before, when you have so much of this ideology in Hollywood force feeding you life lessons, and Netflix making shows that are overtly sexualizing children, and it's just wrong. You know, when I was 4, I didn't have to worry about, is this a boy or a girl, and pronouns and none of that shit. Never had to worry about it. You know, people, I called them by their names, you know, their pronoun was their name. I don't know. You know, if your name is Sasha and you want to be called Alex, I'm going to call you Alex. You know, what the fuck? And forcing this shit down kids, the last thing we want to do when we take our children to the movie theater is have to answer questions about life. I mean, we take them to the movie theater, to see if they can handle it. You know, when you're first bringing your child to a movie theater, you're not bringing your child to learn. You are testing your child because you want to see if they can handle being quiet for almost 2 hours. And I remember I did this with my daughter, and we brought her older friend, who was like 5 years older than her, and I don't know, maybe 4 years older. But anyway, the point was, the older kid ended up having to go to the bathroom and asking for all this, different things, whereas my daughter, who was now 4, was quiet. She was quiet the whole time. And we saw Kung Fu Panda 3, and I dug it. I love Kung Fu Panda. I think it's a great movie. But yeah, it's not like I had to walk out of the movie theater and answer questions about genitalia or anything. And I'm not saying that that's what kids are asking. I'm just saying that it should never get anywhere near that close. The point of taking a kid to a movie theater is so that way they can be quiet and happy for 2 hours, and I can either get some sleep or maybe enjoy the movie too. I don't know. But you should definitely be taking your kid and having, movie night in the living room and making sure that your kid can handle being quiet. Tell your kid, this is movie time, so if you have to use a restroom, you just set them up for practicing, But, it's bad enough that we have so many institutions trying to take over your kid's brain. The last thing you need is Hollywood. Now, Hollywood and the media have joined so tightly together that it's misconstruing, bullshit with news. There's bullshit celebrity worship, and then there's actual news. And we're being trained into thinking that, I don't know, Julia Roberts took a dump yesterday, and, we're supposed to fucking, alert the media. And it's insane. It's insane. The over-sexualization of children in film is disgusting. It's just fucking disgusting. It is not your responsibility to preach to us. It is not. You're not an institution of education, of morale, nothing. You're fucking Hollywood. You are here to make me forget about my shitty life, not reminding me, oh, by the way, you're going to have that talk with your daughter. And since you're not going to have that talk with your son who seems confused, we're going to make you do it now because our movie is on, and now your son's going to ask questions about girl toys or something. I don't know. It just makes no goddamn sense, and I'm glad that it's finally coming back to haunt them. You have, I think Netflix just lost $32 billion, maybe in the 40s. I know Strange World has cost Disney hundreds of millions of dollars, and this is what happens when you try to preach to us. We don't like it, okay? Your job is to show us cool shit or fun stories or, world building, And when you have guys like, Helmsworth not even wanting to do a new Thor movie until they have a fucking decent idea, that really shows you Hollywood is out of them. And so maybe, just like with politics, we should do the same with film and have new people, because we keep clamoring on to the same directors that are giving us the same bullshit. Okay, well then we need new directors. Like if I see an M. Night Shyamalan, if I see his name on something, I change it, or I just know not to watch that. We gotta stop relying on these one-hit wonder fucking directors and thinking that they're the next Spielberg. No, the Spielbergs are the guys like Todd Phillips who you don't like. Quentin Tarantino, another guy that's always under the fire for making great fucking movies. Excuse me. He just got in trouble for, he gets in trouble for everything. He got in trouble for the N-word the use of the N-word in Django, which is like, dude, it's Django. It's about slavery. How do you think people talked back then? All it has led to is more, I don't know, more hostility, lack of understanding, straw manning, and making up these false arguments that really don't exist, and blowing things out of proportion, and it's caused, it's cost money, and it's also costing us our own freedoms, like censorship. I don't believe in any kind of censorship. Kanye's talking about he likes Hitler. That's fucked up. But before that shit, when he was talking, I would never take the mic away from him. I would just not listen to him, It's just it's coming to an end. It needs to come to an end where Hollywood and the media no longer believe it is their responsibility to at all worry about our lives, or even come into our lives and hand out our little life lessons. That's what parents are for, not the fucking screen. Okay, so I'm glad that Disney is starting to notice, and maybe they can start moving forward. Hopefully Hollywood can realize that this fad of censorship and basically just patronizing us and treating us like babies, and that we don't know what's best for us anymore. I mean, you have Grand Theft Auto saying they're going to tone down their sexual and racist jokes. You're Grand Theft fucking Auto. The whole point of your existence was for us to shoot cops. Not that we wanted to shoot cops in real life, but it was just like, hey, we've never been able to do it before in a video game. Most of us just liked it because it broke the monotony. But now you're a part of the monotony. So that just doesn't fucking work. Alright, that's my time. I'm fucking done talking about this shit. And hopefully tomorrow we can talk about something else that won't get me so fucking riled up, because yeah, this shit's gotta go. Alright, so love you guys. Take care of each other. If you guys have any questions, comments, complaints, concerns, always hit us up on uselessagentmusic@gmail.com, or if you just want someone to talk to. Alright, we are on every single streamer or whatever platform you can find, so follow us everywhere, because we're everywhere. Alright, Useless Agent is on Spotify, SoundCloud, Apple Music. Wherever you find music, you can find us. Alright, love you guys, and I will see you guys on the other side.
Useless agent is on your TV.